They built cities in the heart of the jungle, mapped the stars with breathtaking precision, and then, at the height of their power, they vanished. What really happened to the Maya, a civilization that seemed to touch the heavens before disappearing into the earth? Deep within the rainforests of Mesoamerica, a story began over 4,000 years ago. This wasn't just any story. It was the birth of one of history's most brilliant and enigmatic civilizations, the Maya. It all started with small farming villages. But these weren't ordinary farmers. They were innovators, cultivating maize, beans, and squash in a challenging environment, laying the foundation for something monumental. As centuries passed, these humble settlements grew into sprawling city-states. Places with names that still echo with power: Tikal, Calakmul, Palenque. These were not just cities. They were vibrant centers of culture, science, and spirituality. Imagine thousands of people living in stone metropolises, ruled by divine kings who claimed to be conduits between the mortal world and the realm of the gods. The Maya developed a society as complex and layered as the jungle that surrounded them. Their achievements were staggering. They were master architects, raising towering pyramids that scraped the sky, not just as tombs, but as sacred mountains connecting them to their deities. They were brilliant astronomers, tracking the movements of Venus and the Sun with an accuracy that wouldn't be matched in Europe for another 1,000 years. Their calendars were so sophisticated they could predict celestial events centuries into the future. And they possessed something truly unique in the Americas: a fully developed written language. A complex system of hieroglyphs that recorded their history, their beliefs, and their royal lineages on stone stele and in bark paper books called codices. But life in the Maya world wasn't all science and ceremony. It was a landscape of constant political intrigue and warfare. The great city-states were rivals, locked in a perpetual struggle for dominance. Alliances were forged and broken. Kings led their warriors into battle, seeking captives for ritual sacrifice and tribute to fuel their ever-expanding power. This world of gods and kings, of astronomers and warriors, was reaching its absolute peak. But something was about to go terribly wrong. What could possibly bring down a civilization this advanced? The answer is far more complex than you might think. If you're enjoying this journey into the past, make sure to subscribe for more hidden history. The period from 250 to 900 AD is known as the Classic Period, the golden age of the Maya. In cities like Tikal, the population swelled to nearly 100,000 people. The plazas bustled with activity, markets overflowed with goods from across Mesoamerica, and the sound of artisans carving stone filled the air. Kings commissioned magnificent temples and palaces, each one a testament to their power and divine right to rule. The ball game, a sacred and often brutal sport, was played in grand courts, with the fate of the players sometimes ending in sacrifice to the gods. Religion permeated every aspect of life. The Maya believed in a cyclical universe, a constant dance of creation and destruction, and their rituals, including bloodletting by the nobility, were meant to nourish the gods and maintain cosmic balance. But as the 8th and 9th centuries unfolded, a shadow began to fall over the southern lowlands, the heartland of the classic Maya. The signs of decay started slowly. Construction of new monuments ground to a halt. The once meticulous carving of historical records on stele ceased. One by one, the great cities began to empty out. The bustling plazas fell silent. The grand palaces were abandoned, left to be reclaimed by the relentless jungle. What happened? This is the great mystery of the Maya collapse. For decades, historians and archaeologists have debated the cause. There wasn't a single catastrophic event, but rather a perfect storm of devastating factors. Evidence points to a prolonged and severe period of drought that gripped the region for over a century. The intricate systems of canals and reservoirs that had sustained the large urban populations began to fail. Crop yields plummeted, leading to widespread famine and malnutrition. The once powerful kings, whose authority rested on their ability to communicate with the gods and ensure prosperity, were now seen as failures. How could they be divine if they couldn't even make it rain? This environmental crisis fueled social and political chaos. The people lost faith in their rulers. The constant warfare between city-states, which had been a feature of Maya life for centuries, intensified as resources grew scarce. Cities turned on each other in desperate bids for survival. Archaeological evidence shows an increase in fortifications around this time, a clear sign of escalating conflict. Internal rebellions likely broke out as the starving populace rose up against the weakened elite. The complex web of trade routes that connected the Maya world unraveled. It was a slow, agonizing decline, not a sudden disappearance. The people didn't vanish. Their civilization's structure crumbled. They abandoned the unsustainable cities and dispersed back into smaller, more manageable communities, forever changing the face of their world. Yet, the story of the Maya does not end there. In the northern Yucatan Peninsula, new cities like Chichen Itza and Uxmal rose to prominence even as the southern cities fell. The Maya people endured. They adapted. Their descendants still live in the same regions today, speaking their ancestral languages and practicing traditions that have been passed down through generations. The Maya civilization didn't truly vanish. It transformed. Their legacy lives on not just in their magnificent ruins, but in the millions of Maya people who carry their culture forward. The jungle may have swallowed their cities, but it could never erase their spirit or their incredible contributions to human history. Subscribe to uncover more stories history tried to hide.